So our topic for the day is integers. How many of you know what are integers? Firstly, just raise your hand, those who know integers. What are integers? Rian, Bhavya, Rian knows. Okay. Bhavya, do you know? No.
Yes, ma'am.
You know integers? Okay. And Rita and Rituraj, do you know integers? Okay, since you know, the task goes a bit easier, but still I'll try that I add up something, new to it. Okay. So what are integers, Rian? Since you were the first one to turn your hand up. Rita,
Yes.
you're on mute. Can you please settle down?
Positive and negative numbers.
Okay. Positive and negative numbers.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Bhavya?
Ma'am, same.
Okay. So basically, mathematics is all about numbers, right? Right, all of you? So
Yes.
see, from the early childhood, when we get to know about numbers now, we generally start with the number one, right? We know numbers start from one and it continues till, obviously there is nothing called last number. It continues till infinity. And we have infinite numbers. Okay. Now, this set of numbers that we have learned since our early childhood, since mathematics was introduced to us, that is actually known as natural numbers. Okay, it is actually known as natural numbers. Now, when you introduce zero or add up zero to this set of natural numbers, this is known as whole number. Okay, it's known as whole number. Furthermore, as Riyan and Bhavya, both of you said, when you add negative numbers to it as well, that means in simple terms, it's a set of minus infinite to positive infinite. Okay. When it continues, when we have something like this, minus infinite to positive infinite, obviously, since there's no end to numbers, it is not only applicable for positive numbers. The equal thing is applicable for negative numbers as well. Yes or no?
Yes.
So infinite means infinite numbers, whether positive or negative, both has to be infinite. Okay. So integers are basically something set of numbers which are both positive and negative, including the number zero. Okay. Okay, Rita. Rita, am I audible? Okay. So now what happens is we can represent any numbers on number line. Okay. A very common, a day-to-day example of our number line is anyone? Can you say? You have a number line, you carry a number line along with you. What is it? Rian and Bhavya, do you know what's a number line? What's a very common number line that you carry every day?
Miss, it has negative and positive numbers written on it. So on the left side are negative numbers.
One sec, Rian. You're going good, but you're not actually answering to my question. Okay.
Ma'am, scale.
Yes, scale. Very good, Bhavya. A scale or a ruler is a representation of number line in our daily life, although it does not represent negative numbers. Okay, Rian? Okay. So what's a number line? As you know, just like a scale. A scale shows numbers. A scale has numbers written on it. And if you observe very carefully, you must have observed, I'm pretty sure about it. If you just have a look on the scale, they have numbers, obviously they have numbers, but they are equidistant to each other. All the numbers are equidistant to each other. Yes or no? So basically what I'm trying to say is that a number line is a straight line. Okay. Firstly, a ruler is a straight thing. So it is a straight line. Second, it has numbers represented on it. And third, the numbers are equidistant to each other. All the numbers. You cannot randomly place numbers anywhere. The numbers have to be equidistant to each other. Okay. Then only it's a number line. Suppose I'm drawing a straight line. I'm writing 0 over here, 1 over here, and then 2 over here. Since the distance between 0 to 1 and 1 to 2 is not equidistant, I cannot call this a number line, although it is straight and has numbers on it. Excuse me. Am I clear? So it has equal intervals. And now, as you can see on my screen, the number line, unlike scale, a number line represents both positive and negative numbers. Okay. To which 0 acts as the mirror. 0 acts as the mirror because 0 is at the center of the number line. Okay. It divides the number line into two halves. The left hand or the two sides, as Rayan was saying, the left hand side and the right hand side. Okay. So this is the left hand side LHS. This is the right hand side RHS. The right hand side represents the positive integers, whereas the left hand side represents the negative integers. Okay. Furthermore, one fact related to number line is that since you can see, as you can see over here, the right hand side is all about positive integers. So as you move more rightward, what happens? The value of the numbers keeps on increasing. Okay. As you move rightward, the value of the number keeps on increasing, vice versa. Since it's a mirror, since I termed 0 as the mirror, okay, I just considered 0 as the mirror to this number line now. So if you stand in front of the mirror, what happens? When you stand in front of the mirror, you see your own reflection, the identical thing, right? But is it actually identical? No, your side changes. Your left hand side becomes right hand side and right hand side becomes left hand side. Yes or no? Correct? Do you agree? Yes. So similarly over here, so although you have the same numbers, but it's opposite, you know, it's not exactly the replica of what you have on the right hand side. Over here, you have positive, so it has to be negative. Over here, the value keeps on increasing. So vice versa, the more you move leftward, the value keeps on decreasing. And since the value keeps on decreasing, what we can say, -1 is the highest negative integer. Okay, whereas +1 is the lowest positive integer. Understood?
Yes.
Understood? Good. Okay. Moving on. So these were a few facts about number line. Now see, when you're talking about integers, what you can get is, you can also get addition of number line on, addition of integers on number line. Okay. You might get questions like that in Olympiads, which I'll show you in the further coming up slides. But before we go to that, I'll show you certain examples of integers where you will see that integers are nothing unusual. Okay. They are part of your day-to-day life. For example, if we talk about temperature, what happens? See, in case of temperatures, in summers, what happens, Bhavya? The temperatures increase, right?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. The temperatures increase, which shows that they are moving towards the positive side, correct? So in summers, we have an example of positive integers. Am I clear?
Yes.
In summers, we have an example of positive integers. Whereas in winters, what happens?
We have a
The temperatures fall,
decrease.
decrease. They keep on decreasing, right? So they are the example of negative integers. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Coming to height. See, height. Our earth is divided into land and sea, Narayan. Yes or no? Yes. So the sea level acts as the, the neutral point. If you go underwater or below the sea, what happens? It's an example of negative integer. Whereas if you move upwards towards the sky, that's an example of positive integers. Okay. Similar is with directions. The earth is divided by the equator into two poles. Must have studied in social studies or geography, right? Both of you?
Yes.
Yes. So the more you go upward towards the northern pole or in the northern hemisphere, that's a positive thing. That's positive integer. Whereas if you go down towards the southern pole, proceed towards the southern pole, that's an example of negative integers. Okay. Similar is with profit and loss. That's quite clear. Profit means a positive thing because you're earning or fetching something, whereas loss, you're suffering something that you already had something that you already had is going out, right? So that's a loss. So that's an example of negative integers. Okay. Earning and spending. Earning and spending goes goes hand in hand with profit and loss. Profits is a positive thing, so earning is also something like that only. Earning means you gain something, so that's a positive thing, obviously, right? And spending means the money that you had, you're just spending it to buy something, maybe some chocolates for yourself or some stationery for your school craft or anything, okay? So that's spending, that means what? The money is moving out of your pocket, right? Right, Rian, Bhavya, Rita, audible now? Rita? Okay, so that's a negative thing, okay? Next goes deposit and withdrawal. Deposit and withdrawal. Similarly, deposit and withdrawal. Deposit means suppose you had some money. They are terms related to banking, right? Deposit and withdrawal are terms related to banking. Deposit means suppose you had some money. When you have excess money, what happens? Instead of just keeping it in your hand or instead of keeping it in your almirah, what you do? You don't do, obviously. You are too small for that. You are too small for that. What happens? Your parents go to the bank and they deposit money, right? They deposit money, yes or no?
Yes.
Into the bank, na? So they put it into the bank account for safety reasons or maybe anything. So that's a positive thing because your bank balance increases. Whereas withdrawal means what? Withdrawal means what? Have you been ever been to ATM with your parents?
Determine the number.
Huh?
It means taking money from the bank.
Yes.
The money which you deposit, you're withdrawing it, taking it.
Yes, very good, Rian. The money that you deposited into the bank, you are withdrawing it through ATM or check, maybe any reason, okay? Any reason, you are withdrawing it. So what happens? What happens? The bank balance decreases. So that's a negative thing, right? Okay. So these are our day-to-day examples. So see, in teachers and mathematics is nothing unusual. They are part of your daily life. Okay. Okay, someone just joined. What's your name? What's your name? Some alphabets. I can see the fan moving. Who are you? Can you please give your intro? Okay, I think not audible. Anyways, let's move on. Okay. So, yeah. Hello.
My name is Sai Sharan.
What's your name?
Sai Sharan.
Shaishar.
That's Sai Sharan.
Sai Sharan. Okay. Hello, Sai Sharan. Do you know about integers, Sai Sharan?
This was
So we have started a few minutes ago only. So integers, I'll just give you the definition. Integers are numbers with set which has positive, negative numbers and zero, right, Sai Sharan?
Yes.
Okay. So now, as I said that, as I was saying, you can add integers on number line. Just now in the previous slide, we just saw the number line, right? So see, there are three scenarios. Either you can have both positive integers, or you can have one positive, one negative integer, or you can have both negative integers. Three scenarios are possible. So what happens is when you have two positive integers, it's very simple. What you need to do is just look at the numbers that you have one by one and proceed. Okay. Over here, what's the first number? 2. So which side will you go? It's a plus 2 now. So which side will I go? On the right hand side, because that gives me positive integers, right?
Yes.
Right, Riyan, Bhavya, Sai Sharan. Next, what do I have? A 4. 4. So this is again a positive 4. So I'll move further right. So if I move further right, I jump 4 steps from where I actually currently stand. So 4 steps from here. That makes it 3, 4, 5, and 6. That means if I add these two integers, my answer would be 6. right? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, let's move to the second scenario, one positive and one negative integer. See, what's my first integer?
-2.
-2. So which way will I go?
Left side.
Left side. Very good. Left side, I jump till -2. Now, next integer is, what is the next integer, Ryan?
Yes, miss.
What's the next integer that I need to add to -2?
ये क्या बोल रही है फिर?
Miss, from where?
Over here. You're not following?
Miss, I'm following. I just lost track.
Okay. One negative integer and one positive integer. Okay, Ryan? So if it is the second scenario, like -2 and 4, how does it go? -2, I go to the left side. Now I have to add what to it? What is the number that I need to add to it? 4. Okay, Ryan? A positive 4 now.
Yes, miss.
Come back. A positive 4. So positive 4 means which way shall I go, Ryan? Further left or to the right?
Right.
Right. From 0 or -2?
0.
No, from -2. Suppose you started the race and you have reached a certain point. Will
Miss, you
restart
write
the
the
race?
numbers from 0.
We write the numbers from 0, but if I have to add 4 to -2, I'll jump from -2, na? Because
Yes,
I'm currently standing there, okay? So 4 steps from here towards the right, because it's a positive integer, 2, 3, and 4. That makes it a 2,
5
right? So my answer is 2. This is how you add on number line. It's very easy. Just you observe the numbers and you just need to decide which way to go depending on the number. Okay, Sai Sharan? Again, the third scenario, that's two negative integers, -2 and -4. So -2, again, I go towards the left, correct? Because it's a negative integer. And for -4, which way further will I go? Further left or further right from -2?
I'm left.
Further left, because that's a -4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's
-6.
-6. Okay, Rian?
Yes, miss.
Is it too boring?
No, miss.
Seems like you're losing the track.
No, miss, I'm not.
Okay. There's just few more slides, okay? I won't torture you a lot. I'll take less time. Okay, now see, students, these were small numbers. Is it really possible to keep on adding on number line? Isn't it so boring and so time-taking? Standard 6, obviously, you won't get to keep on drawing curves and straight lines, right? That's not for grade 6. So you need to know the principles, how to add them without the number line for sure. So there are 3 principles depending on the 3 scenarios. Just now you saw 2 positive, 1 positive, 1 negative, and both negative. Okay. So the first principle states when you have both positive integers, just like normal addition, you just need to add them up. And obviously, when you have both positive integers, the result is also a positive integer. Okay. Similarly, principle 3, when you have both negative integers, actually they are negative, but what we are originally doing is we are adding, we are not subtracting them. Although they are both negative, but we are adding them up. And when we have both negative, we have negative integer. So both positive, positive, both negative, negative. Okay. Moving on to the second principle, one positive and one negative. What you do, you don't add. Okay, when you have one positive and one negative integer, now you don't add, you actually subtract. 3 and 4, if you subtract, you get 1, right? Right? But now, how to decide which symbol will it carry? Which sign will it carry? Anyone knows about absolute value? Anyone knows about absolute value? Yes, Rita? You know about absolute value? You raise your hand, I thought. Okay. Bhavya and Rian, Sai Sharan,
No, ma'am.
Listen. Okay. Absolute value, I'll tell you, absolute value of any number means, see, absolute values are written in bars like this. Okay. Suppose I have 5 as my number. If it is written in 2 bars or 2 standing lines like this, that represents absolute value of 5. Absolute value of 5 is 5 only. Now the interesting part is absolute value of -5 is also 5. So what do you understand by this? That absolute value of any number means, or any integer, is actually the numerical value of the integer. It does not carry any sign with it. Okay. Absolute value of any integer is just the numerical value of the integer. It does not carry any sign. Absolute value of any number is neither positive nor negative. Okay, Bhavya? Did you know this?
Yes,
Did you know this?
miss.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you have one positive and one negative integer, say let's 3 and -4. When you have to add them up, what happens? You subtract, that's 1. Now, what's the symbol? The symbol is that of the higher absolute value number.
Miss,
Suppose
-1.
yeah, because absolute values are 3 and 4. And since 4 is the higher number, it was a negative. So the answer is also negative. Okay.
Yes.
So the rule is you subtract and the symbol of the resultant is that of the higher absolute valued number. If I had reverse the scenario, -3 and 4, the answer would be 1, but in this case it would be +1 because higher absolute valued number 4 is a positive integer. So my result would also be a positive integer. Okay, all of you?
Yes.
Okay. So these are the 3 principles. Now, just like 3 principles, we have 3 properties also of addition. The first one is termed as closure property. As the name suggests, closure. Closure means putting an end to something or shutting down something. Okay. So when you have 2 integers, what does this property state? That sum of any 2 integers is always an integer. What do I mean by that? That suppose I have 2 integers, 3 or 4, or 3 or -4. It cannot be into decimals or fractions. Can I get answer like this? 0.7 or 7/2 or anything like this? No. I'll get an integer only. So that's called the closure property. Okay. Next is commutative property. Commutative property means what? Commutative property states that any 2 number, when connected to each other, no matter what their position is. Suppose I have 3 and 4. I write 3 plus 4 or I write 4 plus 3. Both will give me the same result. Okay. If I have 3 plus 4 or 4 plus 3, both will give me the same result. My result won't be affected by the position of the numbers. Okay. But obviously they have to be the same integer. You cannot say 2 plus 5 is also 7. So 2 plus 5, 7 and 3 plus 4, 7. They share commutative property. No. They have to be the same numbers. Okay. Lastly, associative property. Associative property just somewhat similar to commutative property. Associative property is related to 3 or more than 2 numbers. Suppose I have 3 integers. Okay. Everyone knows BODMAS. What's BODMAS? Do you know what's BODMAS?
Yes, miss.
Yes. That's a rule which you need to follow when you are solving mathematical equations with more than one operations, right? So BODMAS, B stands for brackets.
Miss, brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction.
Yes. So now see, let's say I have 3 integers. Okay. I group together 3 and 4 and I leave -5 out. So obviously as per the BODMAS, what will happen? This is in bracket. So I solve this first. 3 plus 4, 7 plus -5. Positive and negative. Second principle, 7 plus -5 is 2. In the second scenario with the same 3 integers, suppose in this scenario, I leave 3 outside and I group 4 and -5 together. So obviously I'll solve this first, 4 and -5. 4 plus -5 is how much? -1. Okay. Now 3 being outside, I add 3 to that. So 3 plus minus 1 is again a 2. So see, what can I see? That if no matter which two numbers are associated together first, which two numbers I grouped together first, they were the same. The result was the same. Yes or no, Sai Sharan? Yes, na? Sai Sharan, Ryan, Jason,
Yes,
Rita,
Miss.
Bhavya? Yes.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Coming to our last part. See, integers, like normal numbers, integers also carry all the mathematical operations, okay? Addition, subtraction, which obviously we go in details. For the time being, for our today's class, we have covered only addition as our topic, okay? But obviously, when we go in regular classes, we have subtraction, multiplication, and division as well. So it's not that integers only fall under addition. They also have all the mathematical operations related to them. Okay, so as far as addition is concerned, we have two more things, additive identity and additive inverse. What's identity? What's identity? What is your identity? Who you are in person, right? The brief of
Yes,
any individual. Correct? For the small students or for kids, it's their school's iCard. For elders or adults, it's their Aadhaar card. Or for small children also, they have their Aadhaar card. But still, I'm telling, like your major identity is your school's iCard. Yes or no? Your school's iCard. Correct?
Yes.
Correct. So, see, what is the identity of 3? 3, obviously. Yes. So 3 added to what will give you 3?
0.
no.
0. So 0 is the additive identity of any integer. Because when you add 0 to any integer, it gives you the identity of that integer. Hence, 0 is the additive identity of any integer. Okay. Similarly, what's inverse? Inverse means opposite. Right? So what's inverse of any integer? The same integer with an opposite symbol. For example, if I talk about 3, the additive inverse of 3 is minus 3. If I have minus 10, the additive inverse of minus 10 is a positive 10. Or in other words, if I tell additive inverse means something that should be added to the given integer so that my result is 0. So obviously it's the same number, right? With an opposite symbol. Then
Yes.
only minus plus gets cancelled equally, right? So additive identity of any number is 0 and additive inverse of any number or integer is the same number with a different symbol. Understood?
Yes.
Understood all of you? Okay. Might be you knew all of it or most of it. Okay. So here's one practice question. Arun has rupees 125 in his savings account. So Arun's current balance is 125. Okay. He withdraws. Withdraws is an example of negative integer. So it will be represented like this, minus 105. Yes or no?
Yes.
That makes the number balance stand at 20 rupees. Okay. Now, after that, he makes a deposit of 45. So deposit is a positive thing. So I represent it as plus 45. So when I add 45 to it, the balance becomes 65. After that, I again withdraw 50 rupees. Yes or no?
Yes.
I withdraw 50 rupees now. So now minus 50. Yes or no?
Miss, yes, Miss, minus 15.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
A option.
What's the
please.
balance at the end? A positive 15. That's option A as my answer. Correct?